right, good evening, everyone. Chris Schultz, along with Gary Hoff here. FridayNightVictors.com. Once again, we are at Larson's Bar and Grill. Actually, we never left Larson's Bar and Grill. We film things on the same night. Like Gary said,
the secret's out.
The secret is out. So, and that's okay. But we'd like to thank Larson's for letting us come out and film our show. Obviously, for sponsoring the blog the last 2 years.
Absolutely.
We are going to do our Week 9 picks.
Yes.
We've got quite a few games. We want to keep it under 15 minutes, so we're going to jump right in them. First game is 2-6 Lincoln Park at 7-1 Gibraltar Carlson. Thoughts, Gary?
Yeah, Carlson coming off a tough loss versus Wyandotte. Jack Dremel doesn't lose back-to-back games very often. I expect Carlson to come out and put it on Lincoln Park early and often.
100-0.
100-0.
I'm going to go with Carlson as well.
Yep.
Let's move on over to the LCAA. We have a big game in that conference, and that is the 2-6 Dundee Vikings at 1-7 Erie Mason Eagles. It's going to be an elixir for someone.
Yeah, someone's going to get
game.
right. Yeah.
Someone's going to get right. It's been a while since either team has won. Thoughts?
Yeah. Well, Dundee's snake bitten this year, as you said a few times, losing a lot of close games. Even last week, they came back. The kids fought hard. Both teams are kind of having down years. However, the players haven't given up on their team. They haven't given up on the coaches. Both teams are going to compete. I like Dundee, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dundee as well. I think they just, for lack of a better term, I think they've underachieved. I don't know if that's fair. They just lost some games that they could have won.
Yeah.
I just think they have more talent than Erie Mason. How about that? So we'll go with Dundee.
Yeah.
Next, staying in the LCAA is 6-2 Ida, who's coming off their loss last week at 5-3 Onstead, a team that you were pretty high on earlier in the year. Onstead needs this win to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, tough game here. Ida coming off a poor performance last week, only scoring 8 points. They're averaging quite a bit more than that.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
I do like Ida. However, that loss last week may have cost them a home game. I think they're going to end up going in Week 10, going to Ann Arbor Gabriel Richard, and that is going to be a very tough opener. But I like Ida.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ida as well in this game. I think they win, even though Onstead's backs are kind of against the wall. I think Ida gets that win.
They're going to fight. The Wildcats are, but Ida's a little bit better.
All right, next game is this is a big game.
Yeah.
5-3 Royal Oak playing at the 0-8 Jefferson Bears. I've guaranteed a victory the last 3-4 weeks for the Bears, and I've picked the other way. I'm going with the Bears here. Your thoughts?
You know, I'm going to give the Bears a little something to play for here. I'm going with Royal Oak. Not that they probably even watch the show per se.
They certainly don't care what Gary Hoff thinks.
They don't care what I think.
Catholic Central graduate.
Yeah, but I'm going with Royal Oak. They are 5-3, although I know you did some research. They played some poor teams.
They play in arguably the worst division in the Oakland Activities Association. The teams they have beaten are combined 8 wins and 32 losses.
Right.
Here's a key tidbit. The Bears haven't gone 0-9 since the 1970 season, which would have been early in Mark Sisko's tenure there at Jefferson. So I'm going to go with the Bears. They're going to get their win.
Well, we differ there. I hope Jefferson wins. 1970 was before I was born. I think you were about 15.
Yeah,
so
I was
do
4.
you remember that?
No, not really.
Game that season?
No.
Okay.
I will say this, in talking to quite a few people when I was over at the Carlson Wyandotte game the other day, I was talking with some coaches after the game. Everybody wants Jefferson to win.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason they say that, it's not just about the kids. They all talk about what a great guy Gene Janot is. And I don't think we can stress that enough. When we came out to his practice, he was so kind and accommodating to us. I'd love to see the Bears get a win. I've been rooting for him for weeks.
Well, let's not confuse great guy but you can also throw in, he's a darn good coach.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
this is his first year.
They very easily could be 5-3 this year.
They're
right?
0-8. How can it? Yeah, exactly.
They could be. Yeah, that's a great
4-4, 5-3.
That's
easily.
A great point.
And they competed last week against SMCC. I said SMCC controlled the game, but Jefferson had their chances, just didn't convert on some key plays. But you got the Bears. I got Royal Oak.
Okay, let's move on. All right, next up we have, staying in the Huron League, we have 3-5 Airport traveling to 5-3 Tecumseh. Tecumseh needs this win probably to get into the playoffs. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, tough game here. Tough game to pick, too. I mean, Airport can play with anybody. They've shown that. And they can also kind of lose to anybody. They've also shown that. As you said, Tecumseh's playing for a berth into the playoffs to get to that 6 wins, an automatic berth. I like Tecumseh. Airport maybe a little deflated. They had a chance at the playoffs. They would have won last week in a very close game against Milan. But I like Tecumseh.
Okay, and I'm going to go with Tecumseh as well because Airport can't seem to stop anyone.
Yeah.
And I think Tecumseh will be able to score on them. And can Airport keep up? We'll find out. Should be a good game, but I'm going to go with Tecumseh as well. Let's stay in the Huron League. We're going to go 6-2 Flat Rock at 0-8 Ann Arbor Huron.
Yeah, Ann Arbor Huron, just they can't get out of their own way.
100-0.
Yeah, Flat Rock will name the score most likely, although Ann Arbor Huron's a big school compared to Flat Rock. But they'll name the score. Flat Rock will.
Yep, I'm going to go with Flat Rock as well. Hopefully they finish the season 7-2.
Yeah,
we're fans.
Yeah,
so
this could be. They need this win to maybe avoid going to River Rouge in week 10 of the opening week of the playoffs.
Yeah.
That is a tough game opener, boy. I tell you what.
Yeah.
They need to win this game to maybe get away from Rouge.
Maybe they can force Rouge to come to their place or something.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
All right. Next, staying in the Huron League, we have got 5-3 Milan, who needs a victory, and they are going to be at 6-2 Ypsi Lincoln, who's fresh off the win over Bedford.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this game? This is a tough one for the Big Reds.
This is a tough one for the Big Reds. All hands on deck. Got to play a perfect football game, in my opinion. And I don't think they need the win. I think Milan's in at 5 wins, but you don't want to leave it up to the playoff gods. But you want to get to 6. But definitely a tough game for Milan. I like Ypsi Lincoln, but I'm pulling for Milan, obviously. And, side note, all teams in the Huron League or anybody should be pulling for the teams that are in your league or teams that you've played to win. This is when you're rooting for everybody because it's more playoff points.
Yeah, it helps your playoff points.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Ypsi Lincoln here as well. That victory over Bedford was enough to sway me.
That's a statement.
So, all right, let's still in the Huron League. Let's go 5-3 New Boston Huron at 5-3 Redford Thurston on the turf over there at Thurston. Big game. Both teams coming off losses.
Yeah.
Thurston lost to Fordson the other day, 38-19,
What was the score
I think.
Okay, so they competed there.
They competed. Huron lost to Flat Rock 14-7. Thoughts on this game?
Huron's not playing well offensively at all. Defensively, they're playing pretty.
Solid.
They're playing pretty well. Offensively, kind of on the awful side, and we've heard about it on the blog. But I like Thurston in this game just because Huron doesn't seem to be able to score any points, and you got to score points to win. I like Redford in this game. I think Huron's in with 5 wins. I think they're in right now. But again, you don't want to play that game. You want to get to 6. But I like Thurston.
I'm going to use some insider information here. Huron's got a secret weapon this week in Week 9. I'm going to say they score a bunch of points. They beat Redford Thurston in a shootout.
What's this insider information?
I don't know anything
about this.
We'll see what happens.
I don't know anything about this.
We'll just kind of go from there.
Okay.
Let's dive over to big game, 5-3 SMCC at 6-2 Pontiac Notre Dame Prep. You'll be calling that game?
Yes.
It's a tough game. Two Catholic high schools who both should probably be in the Catholic League. One's in the Huron League. The other one was kicked out of the Catholic League because they refused to play tough competition, so they got bounced. And anyways, thoughts on this game?
Since you said it, I've been back. Before I was a part of the blog, I was an observer of the blog, and I used to battle those that say send SMCC out of the Huron League. They should be in the Catholic League. 1, too far away. Travel would be incredible. It's just too long for a little SMCC to go travel to all the Pontiac. You can't do that. It's too much travel on the kids.
They could play Riverview, Gable, Richard, Allen Park, Cabrini.
Okay, they would kill
Divine
those schools.
Child.
They would kill those schools.
They'd kill Divine Child?
Not Divine Child. Not this year, but most years. Most years they would kill Divine Child. As a matter of fact, they did play them in 2009 and doubled them up 32-16. Pretty good, huh? You didn't know I knew that.
We'll check and see if that was the
32-16.
score. He just throws numbers out there.
2009.
Give us something on this thing here, this game here.
Maybe it was 2010. Prep is very good. They lost to Portland last week by 2. Long ways to go. I just think SMCC is going to get homered. I think there's going to be yellow flags all over the field. It's just my take.
They have a very good quarterback over there.
They have a very good quarterback in Notre Dame. I saw them play earlier in the year against North Farmington. They beat them 44-0. That was the halftime score. And
North Farmington's not very good.
They're not good at all. I like Notre Dame Prep, and but I'm pulling for my homeboys. Obviously, SMCC is definitely in right now with 5 wins. This win, however, would I think guarantee them a home game if they were to beat Prep, but we'll see. I like Notre Dame.
Okay, I'm going to go with SMCC. I think they're rolling. I think their defense will be the difference. I think their game against Pewamo, Westphalia, week 1, is a game that will be similar to this. I think Pontiac Notre Dame Prep's a good team. Yeah, they are going to get some home cooking going there. I'll give you a tidbit. Yeah. My school, Advanced Tech in Dearborn, played them in basketball last year, and it was they had a better team than us, but it was not fun to watch the business we got. Yeah. We got the business, and I think you can anticipate
it's going to be a flag fest.
And for whatever reason,
it's going to
be. They're not part of a league. They can hire whoever they want.
It's going to be a homer situation.
Anyway, so let's jump over to let's stay in the Huron League. Let's go 2-6. Grosville is playing 3-5 UofD Jesuit. I'm not sure where that game is at.
I don't know.
I just know that's a Catholic League kind of crossover game where they have to wait to see who's available. Grosville picked up Jesuit, even though they're 3-5. Tall order for the Red Devils.
It is a very tall order. You got to go with Jesuit here, but kudos to Bodner and the AD for even taking this game.
Take the game, play it.
Yeah, play it. This is obviously a very, very tough matchup for anybody in the Huron League.
Right.
And I like Jesuit out of the Catholic League to beat Grosville.
Yep, I'll go with UofD as well. If you look at the teams that they've played, they've lost a close one to Brother Rice, a close one to Catholic Central, a close one to Divine Child.
Right.
They're just playing a little bit better competition, so I say you go with UofD in this game. Next, you have 7-1 Riverview, the Huron League champions, playing 3-5 Redford Union, who's out of the Western Wayne. Thoughts on this game?
It'll be a blowout. Union's one of the programs that you don't hear a lot from in football anyway. 3-5, although that's a pretty good year for them.
And they beat Clarenceville, they beat Annapolis, and they beat Robichaud, I believe it was. Okay. And that says all you need to know right there.
Yeah, the Riverview, this is a guaranteed win for them. They
100-0.
Maybe chalked it up to get that 6th win if they needed it, but this is an easy one.
So you're going with Riverview. I'm going with Riverview as well.
Huron League champs.
Okay, let's see what else we got. Huge game down in Temperance. 8-0 Belleville at 6-2 Bedford. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Bedford. They might have bit off a little bit too much in Belleville. Belleville is one of the best teams in the state. I would probably put them in the top 10 in overall state standings. Mm-hmm. Very, very good athletes. But you never know how a team's going to perform out of a loss. Maybe they focus a little bit more on practice, and I think they're going to play well against Belleville at home. But I'm going with the Tigers.
Yeah, I think Coach Wood will keep them in the game.
Yeah.
Belleville's got the better team. Okay, but let's talk about why Belleville has the better team. These kids aren't from Van Buren Township. These kids are coming in from Detroit. They're coming in from Romulus. They're coming in from Wayne. They're coming in from Westland. They're coming in from Ypsi, Lincoln, and Ypsi. I'll say it. They talk about Belleville all the time in the newspapers, and quite frankly, they're taking advantage of the open enrollment. Are they doing anything wrong as far as bringing them in at the right time? No. They're in the school before the 4th Friday in February, and that makes them perfectly eligible to play football. The problem is someone's telling them to go there.
Yeah.
They're not just showing up on their own. Yeah. And I'm telling you what, you're going to see it soon. They're going to reach into the Huron League and take one of the best players from the Huron League next year. I guarantee it. With that said, I'm going to go with Belleville.
I think I know who you're talking about.
I'm going to go with Belleville.
Yeah, I like Belleville as well.
Sorry, that was a lot of mud I'm going to throw, but I don't care. Fire me.
Moving forward.
Yeah, sorry, guys. All right, last game is the Gerwick Nissan Game of the Week. 7-1 Fordson, whose only loss is to Belleville,
right,
is traveling down to Monroe to play the 4-4 Trojans of Monroe High. Monroe needs this win to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, this game means everything to the Trojans. And it does normally, on a normal year, any given year. They play Fortson every year. They want to beat Fortson every year. They're their rival. But this one in particular, this would get them in the playoffs a victory. They could set the season right with one win, and it would be this Friday. And but however, Fortson's pretty darn good. They're a great program. One of the better programs in the entire state of Michigan over the last 40, 50 years. I like Fortson. I hope Monroe wins. We both do, I know. But I can't pick against the Tractors.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pick against Fortson either. They have a powerhouse over there. They have so many kids in that school, and as big as Monroe is, Fortson's bigger.
Right.
They also kind of get the pick of the litter, so to speak, in the Dearborn school district for whatever reason. But anyways, I'll go with the Tractors there. So there you have it.
Yeah.
There's our picks. Our burgers had come.
Grilled onions on Chris's
I got
burgers.
grilled onions on my burger
Smells
here
delicious.
at Larson's. But anyways, that's our picks.
Yeah, thank
for
you
week
thank you
9.
once again to Don Bazinski letting us film here at Larson's outstanding bar here. It's packed almost every night of the week. Doesn't matter. You come here on a Tuesday, the parking lot's full.
Yeah.
And I tell you, coldest beer in town, best burgers in town, voted year after year. And we appreciate Larson's Bar and Grill as one of our sponsors.
For sure. Thanks for watching, everyone. FridayNightVictors.com. Chris Schultz, Gary Hoff. Have a good evening.